Good evening, everybody. How are you doing today? Kai Waza with you. And yeah, I did a little bit of hauling today. Senior discount day, and I decided to go out to Savers and see if they had more records. I know I don't need any more, but whatever. Books and such as. So anyway, of course, as per usual, I thought I would have lunch at Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen before I go to Savers, because they're right next door. And it's like about a half-hour bus ride from where I am. So I'm getting off the city bus and walking down and just walking across the street over to Popeye's, and I realize it's an empty building. Dun dun dun. It's gone. It's completely closed. All signage, whatever, everything's stripped. It's like an empty building sitting there. And don't you know, I was traumatized. I mean, it's a catastrophe of a large proportion. I was just like, what? And I immediately went to L&L Drive-In, which is right next to Savers, thinking, well, okay, that's option number 2. But I'm traumatized. The Popeyes is shut down. What's happened? I put it up on Facebook, and as I'm eating, I'm also checking the interwebs to see what it's saying about Popeyes, and also some friends let me know personally that it would appear they've actually just opened up down the street. They closed that shop or went into a new place. So after Savers, I had to walk down the block to make sure. I walked down to the next block further away, and at the very far corner of the block, yes, they had moved into a different building and they were open for business. I already had lunch and whatever, but I was traumatized. I was very happy. I need something to calm down after that. I can't lose my Popeye's chicken now. I'm having some lovely detox tea, iced tea, which I haven't made pictures of a detox tea blends of some different detox teas since the middle of lockdown. I was doing it during lockdown. It's something I did. I decided not to get Diet Coke for a while and just used up a lot of teas that I had. So I just made a whole bunch of like iced teas, and some of them detox. This one is all detox tea. I just made a picture of it, and now there's a little something in this, because I need to calm down after my drama with Popeyes. But anyway, that's something I want to get back into, is making pictures of nice kind of detoxing teas. I think it's a good thing to have on hand. And it is the last week of the month when I usually get into doing all sorts of detox things, sort of a normal thing for me. I'll do the foot patches, at night for like a week, and I'll drink detox teas and use little face masks and do all sorts of little detoxifying things. I don't know what it all does, but I enjoy doing it. So let me show you what I got at Ross. A senior discount day, 30% off. I spent about $35, something like that. First off, yeah, and I got a bunch of records. Of course, they would have records like, I don't know, they were going through for a long time, quite a spell of having tons and tons of records, and then they more lately went through a spell of not really having any, and now it seems to be picking up again, so I don't know. Is this good news? Is this bad news? I don't know, considering I don't have room to put everything. Kind of bad news, but whatever. I did get a couple CDs for the Radio Green Goddess, which if you haven't listened to, if you haven't, you're really missing out on some lovely new age music with nature sounds, etc. North Sound, Debussy naturally, and Chopin naturally. These are classical selections with you know, bird sounds and the sounds of nature, etc. I did get 2 books. I don't want to get books, but I have so many books, but I just can't not do it. This one, this is kind of practical though. $3.99, The View from a Diamond Head. It's one of those picture books, which I really like. It is kind of the history of how Diamond Head developed. But what I really like about it, because it is mostly a picture book, is there's lots and lots of pictures of Waikiki area from the 1980s, when I first moved here in 1981. So there's a lot of these pictures in here that wouldn't mean necessarily anything to anybody else, but places that aren't here anymore, you know, hotels and businesses and various sort of things that, you know, are no longer here and that I remember from like when I first moved here. So I was happy to have this book just for that reason. Like, I just want to have the old King's Alley. They just tore that down a couple years ago. You know, memories and whatever. It's kind of fun to look at old pictures of from times you actually remember. Hamburger Mary's. I don't know if you'll ever remember Hamburger Mary's here. That's been gone for a long time. Anyway, I had to get that. That was a good deal. And then this book, it's a novel. It's a historical novel. I mean, it's really about, I guess it's not exactly a novel. It's about a person. But I just, you know when you see a book and you're like, I can't fight it. I have to get it. It'll haunt me at night if I don't come back with it. Dr. Muter's Marvels. This is a story of this doctor, who was an actual doctor in the 1800s. Did a lot of experimentation on people with various deformities, and was very interested in medical history and evolving medicine and anesthesia and all this all this stuff that he was a part of and a party to. And he was also a showman. He was sort of compared to or called like the P.T. Barnum, you know, of medicine. And there is actually a museum that he created that is, I think, still in existence, of medical marvels and mutations and things in Europe somewhere. I had to get this. I mean, this is just, I love that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's it for other stuff. So let me just show you the records that I hauled today. And there's some interesting stuff. Here's some Jack Jones. I love me some Jack Jones. LA Breakdown. Never heard of it. This has some interesting songs on it. I don't know. We will see. Had to get it. Al Kaiola Bonanza Guitars. Now this I've never seen. This is a promotional copy, and I have never seen this label before, called Avco Embassy. Have you guys ever heard of them? Never heard of them. This is a whole bunch of songs arranged into medleys of like 2 or 3 songs. So I think by Al Kaiola. Should be interesting. I don't know. Bonanza Guitars. Budget label, Winecoat. Had to get it. Lerner and Lowe International Pop Orchestra. They didn't tell you how many strings they had, but they let you know they had 110 musicians. And there are only 4 songs on this record, on this 12-inch. What I love when they did these ones is they would sort of splice them together and take like a 3-minute arrangement and kind of make like a 6-minute track out of it or something. They're pretty short. I mean, the whole album's like probably 22, 23 minutes or something. But I love these sloppy things. Another one, I had never heard of this label. This is a gatefold too. 26 Academy Award-winning songs. I did needle drop some of these, so I do know some of them, what they're sounding like. Jane Wilson, Stuart Foster, and the Robert Thomas Singers with the Hollywood Cinema Orchestra, conducted by Maximilian. This is by, you ever heard of them? I've never heard of them. Dolphin Records out of New York. And it's pretty darn good. It's a gatefold, and some are, you know, by one of each of the singers. There's some duets. There's some by the group. There's some instrumentals by the orchestra. So it's just sort of a combination of things, but sounds really nice. This one, excited to see it. More excited when I needle dropped it a few minutes ago. Oh my God, it is Bacharach Baroque. The group is called the Renaissance. It's from Snuff Garrett Productions. So I love when they take, you know, at the time contemporary song and do like weird classical arrangements of it. But you know what this actually is? It's a direct takeoff on the Swingle Singers, you guys. It is the Swingle Singers ripoff. They're doing exactly the same thing. All the la 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 la, you know, those kind of like vocalese arrangements of her Bacharach songs. It's amazing. I had no idea. So cool. Always got to pick up these Project 3 Tony Mottola Superstar guitar and 4-channel stereo. It's a gatefold also. Coming at ya. I was curious about this. Music, 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 and other party time favorites by the Ragtimers, RCA Camden. Of course, you look at it and you think, well, it's Dixieland ragtime, right? Which is not my favorite genre, but I was curious. I was reading the back. Let me check this out a little bit more. And they say it's sort of a combination of sounds. The beat is sort of contemporary on some of them. And it's sort of brassy and sort of ragtimey. And indeed, when I needle drop some of it, it is definitely not straight up ragtime. It is in some of it is almost like Tijuana Brass, like with ragtime influence, Dixieland influence. I don't know. It's interesting. This one I just wanted to check it out. I wasn't sure because it's a Bach Spectacular Phase 4 stereo. It's a gatefold by Camerata. So I didn't know whether this would be just straight up classical or whether he would be sort of doing interpretations of it or whatever. But I guess it is pretty much straight up classical. It's just, I think from what I'd have to reread it, but I think certain parts maybe were written for different instruments than what he used, and it's supposed to really show off the sound, but interesting anyway. This, surprised to see this. I've never seen this in a dollar bin or for cheap. Linda Scott, Starbright Starlight on Canadian American. You just don't come across a lot of Canadian American records. That's who Santo and Johnny recorded on. And you may cringe, but sorry, I love Tammy Faye Baker. I had to get it. I've never seen this record of hers. I have some of her other stuff, but this is, yeah, I never saw this one. I loved Tammy Faye Baker. Sorry if that offends you, but I did. She was just sort of clueless. Acker Bilk and Brent Fabric together. Interesting, right? Didn't know that was out there. Jib, Tony, and Bob the Letterman. Always loved the Letterman. Didn't have this one. Dance to the Hits. Heckscher style. Ernie Heckscher and his orchestra. I didn't listen to this one, but I'm assuming it's like big band-esque or something maybe. I don't know. This one, Broadway's, not 100% sure I don't have this, but in a pile somewhere. From the Longines Symphony Living Music program, Broadway $1 Million Melodies. This is the gatefold, the lovely gatefold edition. So it's all this information about the music and the Living Music program itself, which you can get it free for 10 days. 2 record sets, all sorts of information here. Then finally, I picked up a couple of Christmas records that have a significance, and I just wanted to check it out and make sure. I was in contact with my friend Scott, messaging while I was at the thrift store looking at this, and I pulled this out, took a picture. I'm like, hey, isn't this the same artwork as like everything we've been seeing lately, specifically the Vaughn Monroe Family Christmas Treasury 4 LP set thing? And it is the same artwork. Organ and Chimes, it's the same, well, it's Composed Records, which is synthetics, plastic, right? Same company is the Vaughn Monroe Family Christmas Treasury, which Vaughn Monroe is not on anywhere, by the way. And this is, in fact, album, I don't remember, I think it's 2 or 3, album number 2 or 3 in that set, which is the Organ and Chimes record. This is all of that. It is the Organ and Chimes record. Compose did records that were over an hour long, and they are actually that long. They weren't pretending like some people are. But this is by Robert Mason, of course, probably a fake name as well. They give some other name. What do they say? Let me look it up. I got it here. Oh, anyway. Some other fake name they use, not Robert Mason, but it's the same one. And then this one I suspected was also, so I picked this one up. I do love the picture here. Christmas Carols by the Caroliers, the other sort of fake name budget label Christmas group. These are the singers. Indeed, they are the same as the Vaughn Monroe choir singers that's on the Vaughn Monroe set. It's the same set of recordings, except they left the Christmas hymn Echo Song off of the Family Treasury run. But you can just get the picture on the back where there's no information at all and just the lovely pictures. It's so 1970s, right? They reissue these every year. I mean, these particular recordings have probably been around since the 50s, and they just keep repressing them. All the budget labels shared them, and they just kept repressing them and changing the covers every year, and giving a different name to the group a lot of years. I mean, I'm sure you can find this same thing as like the Bob Preston Chorale and the Merry Christmas Forever Singers or something, but Caroliers was a fake name that was used quite often, and that's what it's issued as here. But it's the same group that's in the Vaughn Monroe Family Christmas Treasury. If you're interested in that kind of box set stuff, you really should check out that Facebook page. I really enjoy it. A lot of discussion about various box sets, and we can get into all kinds of history of something. It's a Facebook page, the Vintage Vinyl Box Set Enthusiast page that my friend Scott runs. You should check it out if you like all this kind of weird music, because a lot of conversation. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And don't forget, you can check out Moody Mood Music and Radio Green Goddess and Hawaiian Hi-Fi. All three are on live365.com. There's the link below to Moody Mood Music, so check them out. Anyway, hope everything's well with you, and all's well in my world. Popeyes is still there, just down the road a little ways. I will survive.